to Joshua chapter number 8. Joshua chapter number 8. Last week we looked at the battle of Ai, part number 1. And part number 1 didn't go the way that Israel wanted it to go, did it? We saw that Israel was defeated by the people of Ai, and 36 men lost their life. And Joshua had a crisis, didn't he? He knew that God had promised him the land. He knew that God had promised every part of the land to him. And he came to Ai, and they lost the battle. And what did Joshua say? Joshua wasn't like, God, why did we lose? No, he says, God, what are people going to do to me? What are the people in the land that hear about this defeat? What are they going to do to me? And so we see that Joshua here had missed the part where the reason that they lost is because there was sin in the camp. We saw that Joshua missed his communion with God before the battle of Ai. Joshua came up with his own plan and came up with his own strategy to win the war, and it ended with utter defeat. Not only did those 36 men die, but Achan died as well. Achan died, his family died, and everything that Achan had, including the things that he stole, were stoned and burned up, and then a heap of stone was placed on top of them. Why was that? Because God doesn't allow sin in our life. God forces us. If we're not going to deal with sin on our own and come before God, God will force us to deal with sin. As we enter into Joshua chapter number 8, we're going to enter into Battle of Ai 2.0, right? The plot for revenge. No, it's not revenge. No, today we're going to see that there was triumph over defeat. While the Israelites had been defeated just a few days prior, they were going to win the victory today. And what was the difference? The difference was obedience to God. Let's read Joshua chapter number 8. We won't read the whole chapter, but we're going to read some of it. It says in verse number 1, And the Lord said unto Joshua, Fear not, neither be thou dismayed. Take all the people of war with thee, and arise. Go up to Ai. See, I have given into thy hand the king of Ai, and his people, and his city, and his land. And thou shalt do to Ai and her king as thou didst unto Jericho and her king. Only the spoil thereof, the cattle thereof, shall ye take for a prey unto yourselves. Lay thee in ambush for the city behind us. So the difference between the battle of Ai and the battle of Jericho is that the Israelites were going to destroy all the people, right? They were going to destroy the people and the king, but the cattle and the spoils of the land they were allowed to keep. And we'll look into that a little bit later. But just so we get that picture in our mind, they were going to utterly destroy the people, but they were allowed to keep the spoils of the land. Notice in Jericho, there were no spoils of the land. When Achan took the things he was stealing from God. Verse number 3 says, So Joshua rose and all the people of war to go up against Ai. And Joshua chose out 30,000 mighty men of valor and sent them away by night. That's a lot more than the 3,000 he chose the week before, isn't it? 30,000. And he commanded them, saying, Behold, ye shall lie in wait against the city, even behind the city. Go not very far from the city, but be ye all ready. And I and all the people that are with me will approach unto the city, and it shall come to pass when they come out against us, as at the first, that we will flee before them. For they will come out after us, till we have drawn them from the city. For they will say, They flee before us as the first, therefore we will flee before them. Then ye shall rise up from the ambush and seize upon the city, for the Lord your God will deliver it into your hand. And it shall be when ye have taken the city, that ye shall set the city on fire, according to the commandment of the Lord shall ye do, for I have commanded you. Joshua therefore sent them forth, and they went to lie in ambush and abode between Bethel and Ai, on the west side of Ai. But Joshua lodged that night among the people. And Joshua rose up early in the morning and numbered the people, and went up, he and the elders of Israel, before the people of Ai. And all the people, even the people of war that were with him, went up and drew nigh and came before the city and pitched on the north side of Ai. Now there was a valley between them and Ai. And he took about 5,000 men and set them to lie in ambush between Bethel and Ai on the west side of the city. And when they had set the people, even all the host that was on the north of the city, and their liers in wait on the west of the city, Joshua went that night into the midst of the valley. And it came to pass, when the king of Ai saw it, that they hastened and rose up early, and the men of the city went out against Israel to battle, he and all his people at the time appointed. Before the plain he wist not that there were